Whoopi Goldberg does not like Donald Trump at all. The host of The View has had some almighty meltdowns in recent days, directly squared at the presidential hopeful. First, she went on a bizarre rant, fearing that mixed couples would be reassigned a white spouse and be deported under a Trump administration.
All of you talking about you, it's us. He's not going to, say, oh, you're with a white guy, I'm going to keep you from being deported. No, he's going to deport you and put the white guy with someone else. The man is out there.
This commentator on X blasted Goldberg's brain snap, saying, I used to like her, but she's clearly gone off the deep end. Whoopi Goldberg then attempted to set the record straight and backtrack on her past hospitality towards Donald Trump after the relationship was discussed on the Joe Rogan podcast.
So you know who made a campaign stop on the Joe Rogan podcast Friday night. And with all the issues Americans are going to be voting on, you know where they started the interview? Take a look.
It was the episode of you when you were on The View. And I think it was 2015 or 2006, like when you were running for president.
Right.
Okay, let's stop there. There's a lot of fake news coming up, so we're going to clear some of it up as it happens. He was actually, in that clip, is 2011, 4 years before he announced he was running. Okay? That's the first thing they got wrong. Next.
You got introduced as our friend Donald Trump.
That's right.
Whoopi Goldberg gives you a big hug and a kiss. Joy Behar gives you a big hug. Barbara Walters gives you a big hug. They all loved you.
So, here's the actual appearance. Watch.
Donald Trump is a billionaire, a real estate mogul, and a television star. But does he really want to add president of the United States to his resume? A lot of people would like him to. Please, let's find out, and please welcome my friend, Donald Trump. We're so happy to have you. Whenever you're on with us, we're very happy.
We love it.
So, Barbara was her usual polite self, as she was with every guest. But did I look warm and fuzzy? Was that a warm and fuzzy welcome from her? But because I respect Barbara, she said be polite to guests no matter what.
Yes.
And for the most part, I got through. I did it like I do now.
Outspoken commentator Kelly J. Keane called out Whoopi's backpedaling, saying, "We know what we saw, ladies." And most recently, Whoopi Goldberg tried to spin Joe Biden's infamous garbage gaffe that has ruined Kamala's campaign this week.
With the fact that he brought up America being a garbage can.
Right.
Yeah.
I assume that meant that those of us who live in America
Yeah.
were garbage.
Yeah.
And I guess everybody's freaked out now because we're all in the can together. Some people thought they were out of the can.
Yeah.
But when he says the country is a can,
She also went on to mock Donald Trump's response to the gaffe.
you know who tried to seize on the garbage talk controversy with a last-minute campaign stunt. He dressed up as a garbage man. He could not get into the can. Okay? Kind of makes you want to see his medical records, doesn't it? But then he bragged about this.
But Whoopi isn't alone in slamming Trump and defending Biden after the garbage scandal. MSNBC's Joe Scarborough also had a meltdown live on air.
The hypocrisy, Mika, over a misstatement by Joe Biden, which he quickly corrected, is so laughable because this guy does this every day. And then you turn on Fox News and say, oh,
How could anybody do this? I've never seen this before from a president.
Despite the fact one of the people saying that yesterday on Fox News stood by while Donald Trump watched violence erupt on January the 6th and kept allowing violence to erupt on January the 6th and said the people that were beating the hell out of cops were patriots. So yes. Willie, the gaslighting never ends. They really do think that their voters are that stupid.
And this CNN panelist blamed the gaffe on Biden's stutter.
He's never been a big arena speaker. He's never been the most fluid speaker. And by the way, as someone who had a stutter growing up, it's very obvious to me that there's an apostrophe at the end of supporters there. He was referring to the garbage spewed by supporters, not simply the supporters themselves.
But Sky News host Liz Storer disagrees, saying Trump's response was iconic.
US now, where we know yesterday Joe Biden was caught on camera saying in an interview that Trump supporters were garbage. Well, in typical Trump style, he's just leaned right into this, landing in Wisconsin today to start campaigning in what is a crucial swing state. He had a Trump-branded garbage truck meet him at the airport and climbed aboard to give this important message.
I think that the comment made by really both of them, because there are really two of them, about being garbage, maybe 250 million people, they shouldn't be talking. That's like deplorable for Hillary. This is the deplorable for Hillary. And I think this is worse, actually. How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
You got to hand it to his PR team. They do not miss anything. Then, of course, he took to the stage in Wisconsin and still was beating the same drum.
You can't be president if you hate the American people, which I believe they do.
Is he wrong? Is he wrong? I mean, I love this from Trump. And he's still got his sanitary outfit on, being like, yes, I'm a sanitary worker. He was also doing the YMCA dance. You know, that jerky dance that he does, his very iconic Trump dance. But he left it on the entire rally. And it's made another iconic Trump moment. So while the Dems are calling hundreds of millions of Americans trash,
Sky News host Joe Hildebrand agrees, saying Biden's timing was perfect for the Republicans.
Again, what an amazing intervention from Joe Biden, a week out, less than from the poll. Trump is actually in the frame and in a bit of trouble for having the comedian make the joke about Puerto Rico. And so there's a bit of there's a bit of backlash. Some people are saying there's hundreds of thousands of Puerto Ricans in, say, Pennsylvania, for example, and this could maybe turn that swing state, which is about the only hope that Kamala Harris has got. I mean, honestly, if you're pinning all your hopes on that, good luck. But who knows? Praying for a miracle, the closest she's actually got to maybe just pulling off a miracle win. And what does Joe Biden do? He says, I'll help.
And don't forget, he said that when she's giving a speech talking about how we need to unite Americans, we need to stop pointing fingers and instead join arms.
Which she contradicted in the same breath.
But he did. But I mean, Biden did not help by then saying they're all garbage.
But this is the thing, they have been so utterly, and this is just the latest in just the most catastrophically incompetent campaign from two of the most catastrophically incompetent and yet somehow incredibly vain and egotistical people I have ever seen in politics anywhere, ever. And the Democrats cannot be rewarded for this. The Democrats have to lose this election for the sake of American democracy. Because if they think that they can pull this off and get their levers on the nuclear codes and their hands on the most powerful nation on the planet, after such absolute incompetence, making the wrong decision after wrong decision every single step of the way, from using the courts to prosecuting him, from failing to tell Joe Biden that he had to step down when they had the chance, to then being too late after public blasting and then putting in the worst possible candidate, the candidate who did worst in the Democratic primaries leading up to 2020,
never got
now
a single
becomes
vote.
effectively installed as president without having to go through any primary at all in the next election. This is madness. And these guys say that Trump is a threat to democracy. These guys have been been pissing all over democracy. It's outrageous.
Another reason why these guys have to lose, if that brilliant tirade wasn't enough for you, is all they're campaigning on is lies.